एकता परिषद जिंदाबाद एकता परिषद जिंदाबाद एकता परिषद जिंदाबाद जल जमी आउ जंगल सुरक्षा यही आम अभियान जल जमी आउ जंगल सुरक्षा यही आम अभियान.
So much about India boggles the Western mind. A population with over 1.13 billion, a landmass of more than 3 million square kilometers, 17 major languages spoken, and over 2,500 distinct dialects. Today, India is the world's largest democracy, with 70% of its population still living on the land. But that's changing. Many believe that along with China, India is about to emerge as a new and powerful economic force.
One argument increasingly that you hear in this era of economic globalization is that it is important for all of us to become a partner in this process of globalizing ourselves, because we live in an extremely competitive economic environment, and if India can become, as it indeed its economic planners and its politicians want us to become, another superpower.
But accommodating this push for economic power has had a negative impact on those who live close to the land. Throughout the country, a conflict is raging between the traditional ways of living and modernity. These indigenous people are being cast off the land by a world that sees them as an inconvenient hurdle in its onward march towards progress. Most at risk are poor women who desperately need to secure their property rights over land and livelihood in order to feed their families and manage their small farms. This is the reason that 80% of Ekta Parishad are women. Already 50 million people have been displaced in the name of development. Every year, 2 million more are pushed off their land and into poverty. They have been displaced from their homes by the rich and powerful, or have been evicted or exploited because they have no legal proof that they own the land they occupy. Without land, people have no source of food, livelihood, social security, or identity. Their lives are reduced to a mere subsistence level, and often to famine conditions.
The industries are coming in, walking in with suitcase full of money, and they are taking land, they are taking water, they are taking whatever resources are there locally and displacing the Adivasis, and government is keeping their eyes shut.
P.V. Rajagopal convenes a mass-based organization called Ekta Parishad, or Unity Council, whose philosophy it is to bring back the nonviolent principles of Mahatma Gandhi. Since 1990, it has been an active umbrella for the poor and landless in India. It now has over 150,000 members worldwide.
If you have a piece of land, then you are rooted. So then you say, oh, I also have something to fight for. Millions of our people have nothing to fight for. The more I walk around, I understand there is so much land available. It is so badly managed. In a country where you have large population and limited resources, we should learn to share the resources, and land is one such resource which can be shared.
It was Gandhi himself who said, "The essence of non-violent civil disobedience is to stand firm for what is right and springs from a deep sense of injustice." Opposing injustice means seeing that people have sufficient for their survival, seeing that the earth is carefully maintained, and seeing that non-violent behavior continually transforms positively our human relations. The strategy is simple. Using one of Gandhi's chosen means of political protest, the yatra, or foot march, Ekta Parishad has been organizing protest marches throughout India. On October the 2nd of this year, the largest and most ambitious march so far has been planned to coincide with Gandhi's birthday. Organizers have been working for the past 3 years in planning it. The goal of the march is threefold. First, to ask the Indian government to address the land claims of the millions of poor who have titles but cannot possess the land because others, often richer families, are presently occupying the land. Secondly, to set up fast-track courts to sort out land claims so that they do not get hung up in the courts for long periods of time, leaving the poor people with little justice. Thirdly, to have the government establish a bureaucratic process enabling poor people to permanently secure titles over their land. The plan is to bring 25,000 landless people together into one massive 350-kilometer non-violent march to India's capital city of Delhi. It is expected to stretch over at least 25 days along one of the country's busiest highways.
You know, getting the national highway blocked for 15 days is something unthinkable for any government. As a result, the government will have to either use repression or use the technique of negotiation. I am ready for both.
This will be an international protest march with an expected 250 marchers from various countries, 18 Canadians, walking in solidarity to Delhi. Several special events throughout the world are planned to coincide with the march. These include a walk by French farmers across Europe, a march from Basel to Geneva in Switzerland, an interfaith group on nonviolence at the Lincoln Memorial Statue in Washington, D.C., and a nonviolent meeting at Toronto City Hall.
है कि नहीं का है पावत ले कैसे कथे दादा भैया मोला दे देवे जिता देवे तोला ऐसे काम कर दूं वह कहीं तोला ये जात बनवा दूं कोई मिलते का है ना तो देखो जो मर जाते मृत्यु खो जाते हैं उसी को निराश्रित सरकार दे रहा है वो कहाँ कर रहा है भाई जब सेवा नहीं करेगा तब तक हम यह बिल्कुल आंदोलन करेंगे उसको जरूरी है
This is not just an Indian issue, it's a human issue, an issue that affects us all. But awareness is useless unless it results in action. So here's what you can do. Write to the Indian Prime Minister, Manmohan Singh. His email is at the ACT Canada website. Collect financial resources and send it to the South Asian Partnership. Come to the Toronto City Hall rally scheduled for October the 2nd and show your solidarity with marchers in India.